third step, translate the XLIFF file. Today we're using the AI Translator add-on. Now, ideally, the AI translated XLIFF should also be reviewed by a human. Just because you use AI translation or this AI translator add-on doesn't mean you won't have to send your content to a language service provider for review. And hopefully by using both AI translations and human review, you get the best of both worlds, maybe some cost savings and also high quality. And the person who would check the translation, because XLIFF is XML, that person could use XPath to find where the problems are inside the XLIFF. For example, someone could use the first XPath expression to find the translation units that were not translated, so they're missing the target, no target there, or they have a target with this state needs translation. And secondly, you could have translated translation units that need review, and then you could use the second XPath to find the translation units that have the state needs review on the target. So let's go back, and now I want to switch to the AI Translator side view, and I can now create a new task. Let's call it gear pump English to Romanian. You will choose a translation configuration where you define what connectors and models to use. I use this translate with GPT 4.1 mini configuration, which is one of the predefined configurations that we can see in the preferences. And if we take a quick look here, we can see that we have three kinds of AI models here, three, let's say, levels. We have the translation model. This is the model that will be used for the actual translation, and I'm trying to use a cheaper model, which is I found to be good enough, at least for my sample for translation. Then you can choose if you want to enable the quality checks or not, and you have to think about this. Do you want to also pay the additional costs of asking the AI to check your content, or maybe you'd want to directly send the content to a human reviewer? So you have to think about that. Because the quality check may incur additional costs. So this is the second level, the quality check. And the third level is choosing up to 3 models that can be used for translating again those translation units for which the quality check failed. Let's also take a quick look here in the preferences page before going back. So here you can see that we have a couple more options. You can choose how many translation tasks you want to perform at the same time, and you can also choose if you want to use the caching system or not. But using it would be beneficial because you would get faster results and it will cost less. And you can also configure the size and the time to live for the cache. Okay, now let's go back. So we choose the translation configuration, then we need to choose the XLIFF from here. So this is what we have generated earlier. You could also pass a translation memory file. You could use the AI translator without using Fluenta, for example. And then you could pass the memory file to improve the translation consistency and to reduce the costs. But Fluenta already takes translation memories into account. And I'm not going to provide the translation memory for this demo. And Also, another thing that I'm not going to provide is a custom instructions file, because I want to keep the scenario simple and easy to understand. But in these instruction files, you could provide instructions and guidelines. You could, for example, define a scope or the audience or the style of the translation, or you can even provide a sort of terminology. You can say this word needs to be translated as X, not as Y, for example, or something like that. But keeping things simple, we only choose the translation configuration and the XLIFF file, and we create the translation task, and we start it. And you can see that it runs very fast. That's because I'm using the caching system, and it seems the translation process took 8 seconds. Normally it would take 2 to 3 minutes, but because I have done this translation while preparing for the webinar, I already have the answers cached, and it worked very fast. I can now check if I want to the log file. I can save a log file and inspect it. And one thing that I want to mention is the fact that we cannot send the entire XLIFF to DAI because it can be too large. It could even go beyond the context window of the LLM. So we split this XLIFF file into chunks. Ideally, each chunk would correspond to one file, but again, the file could be bigger, and in practice, you would probably normally see several chunks for a single file. And here you can find information about the translation, what model was used, how the quality check went, and so on. And let me go down here where you can also check a translation report, how long it took, how many translation units were processed. We can see if we have untranslated units or units that need review, and other statistics here. But what's more interesting is the XLIFF file, which we need to save because we'll need to import it later. And now if we take a look in this XLIFF file, we can see that a translation unit, let's take the same translation unit as earlier from the data map, now has both the source and the target. So a gear pump in English is a pompă cu angrenaje in Romanian. And this concludes our current step. We translated our XLIFF file.